UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has called for Russian oil and gas to be taken off the global market and for billions of dollars of Russian assets to be used to finance Ukraine. According to Associated Press, Starmer was speaking following a meeting of the so-called Coalition of the Willing in London on Friday. "We need to agree to finish the job on Russia's sovereign assets and unlock billions to help finance Ukraine's defense," Starmer told European leaders. The talks aim to step up pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin, adding momentum to measures in recent days that have included a new round of sanctions from the United States and European countries that take aim at Russia's vital oil and gas export earnings. Putin has so far resisted efforts to push him into negotiating a peace settlement with President Volodymyr Zelensky and has argued that the motives for Russia's all-out invasion of its smaller neighbor are legitimate. Starmer said the coalition was more united than ever before and also united with President Trump in our calls to end the bloodshed.
I'm really pleased to say that we've got a group now of more than 30 nations who have been unwavering in our support for Ukraine and a just and lasting peace. And I would say that today we're more united in that than ever before. United as a group of countries in the Coalition of the Willing, united with President Trump in our calls to end the bloodshed. In the last few days alone, Putin has rejected the opportunity for talks once again. Instead, he's making ludicrous demands for Ukrainian land which he could not take by force. Now, of course, that's a non-starter. At the same time, he continues to target Ukrainian civilians and energy infrastructure ahead of winter, all aiming to maximise human suffering. So this is the time for pressure, because that's the only way to change Putin's mind, the only way to bring him to the table and stop the killing. We've got 2 months left now of 2025, and I want to use today to agree a clear agenda of what we need to do to push Putin to the table. There are 3 things. First, I think we should agree today to act to take Russian oil and gas off the global market. Second, I think we need to agree to finish the job on Russia's sovereign assets and unlock billions to help finance Ukraine's defence. Third, we need to strengthen Ukraine's air defence and the energy support that it needs, and this is becoming urgent, to protect its civilians and rebuild its critical infrastructure. So I'm pleased that we're accelerating our UK programme to provide Ukraine with more than 5,000 lightweight missiles. This means we can deliver an additional 140 missiles ahead of schedule to boost Ukraine's defences through the depths of winter. Fourth, we need to keep up the military pressure on Putin through the continued provision of long-range capabilities. And we've all seen just how effective these capabilities are. And finally, while now is the time to prioritise pressure, we must keep working on our security guarantees where we've made so much progress in recent months, including the multinational force Ukraine, so we're ready to uphold a future peace.
Number 1 is air defense and energy, and Kyiv said about it. And you can see that Putin has not achieved any of his real goals on the ground, no gains on the front line. And he turned to what he truly believes in, terror. And of course, we need to protect our critical infrastructure and prevent any blackouts. Our team will give your teams the key measures to help our energy sector. And this covers equipment and other items. And we are also talking about gas. And now there is one more important decision by the United States of America. Sanctions against 2 large Russian oil companies. Pressure on Russian oil is an instrument to end the war, I'm sure. And all Russian oil companies, including Rosneft, Lukoil, Putin's own oil company, Surgutneftegaz, and others, must be blocked. Their access to the world market must be cut off, This will bring Putin back to reality and greatly limit the Russian war machine's money. And I thank President Trump for his path of pressure, and I thank the countries that are already taking these steps. One more point, diplomacy. Right now, Russia does not want to end the war, and Putin does not want any proper meetings. Everything Putin does is an attempt to delay new forms of pressure. We must create in Russia a will to negotiate, and I will ready to meet in any meaningful format, and the current line of contact could be the starting point of negotiations.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was welcomed Friday by Keir Starmer at the British Prime Minister's residence, 10 Downing Street. According to Associated Press, that happened before Zelensky was due to meet European leaders in London. They have pledged military support to protect Ukraine from future Russian aggression if a ceasefire occurs. Hosted by Starmer, the talks will focus on enhancing Ukraine's air defenses and supplying longer-range missiles. The meeting aims to pressure Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has resisted peace negotiations. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry reported downing 111 Ukrainian drones overnight. Ukrainian authorities said Russian artillery struck a residential block in Kherson, killing 2 people and injuring 11 others.
Vladimir, it's really good to be able to welcome you here in Downing Street again for a really important meeting between the two of us, bilaterally, but also for the Coalition of the Willing. And I think you saw His Majesty the King this morning, and through seeing His Majesty, through our meeting, and through the Coalition of the Willing, we reaffirm again our support for you and Ukraine, and our absolute commitment to meeting the challenge of Russian aggression. And whilst you have signalled the path for a way forward and shown that willingness and courage and determination, what we've seen from Putin is an absolute unwillingness to engage. In fact, the opposite, which is the continued attacks, increasingly on civilians and on children. And sadly, I have to offer you my condolences again, as I did last time we met and the time before, for those terrible losses. I do think that this week we can really bear down on Russian oil and gas. Huge steps forward this week already. I think there's further we can do on capability, particularly long-term and long-range capability, and of course the vital work of the Coalition of Willing when it comes to the security guarantees that are necessary. So we've got really important business to go through with the Coalition of Willing today, but it's very good to be able to welcome you back. It is very good that we are frequently meeting like this so that we can share the challenges and work them through, and we stand as we've always stood, as your closest supporter and ally, and stand with you and all the people of Ukraine. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks so much, dear Keir, dear Prime Minister. Thanks to you, people of the United Kingdom, and of course, I'm very thankful for today's morning meeting with His Majesty, and we are thankful to your country and for such big support and such respectable support of Ukraine, our civilians and our soldiers. Yes, I agree with you and that Putin doesn't show that he wants to stop the war, and he really began steps and pushing us to such humanitarian disaster. What he wants to organize this winter, of course, with attacks on energy and gas, on water supplies. It's understandable what to do. I'm very thankful to you that we are not alone in this situation from the very beginning of war, but especially now it's very important. Of course, we will discuss during Coalition of Willingness security guarantees, which have started today, partially. I mean, air defense and energy support. So we will speak about it. Thank you for organizing this meeting with all the partners. Thank you that you stay with us.
always. Thank you very much.